A Ghost in the Opera. Chapter 3. Rehearsal. Emma's eyes snapped open and she sat bolt upright even before the alarm on her phone could ring. She had slept terrible, and now she felt guilty because of it. Her first night at the famous Opera Garnier, and she had slept terrible. She should be more grateful than this. She rubbed her tired eyes in an attempt to chase the remains of her dream out of her head. But to no avail. All night she had been dreaming of dead sopranos and monsters lurking in the catacombs somewhere below the opera. She scolded herself as she pushed her hair away from her face. She shouldn't have become so enthralled with Ruby's story about the unfortunate Christine Daae. What had happened in the catacombs had been an accident. Melina had said so, and Emma trusted Melina completely. She was still jittery, however. When her alarm rang, she almost jumped, and then laughed slightly at her own foolishness. It was just the alarm, nothing to be afraid of, even though she was living in Christine's old room. No. Emma shook her head firmly. She refused to think more about it. She had to get a move on. She had to shower, get dressed, and have breakfast before rehearsal started. She was actually in a bit of a hurry. She hopped out of bed, grabbed her robe, and shrugged it on. Then she grabbed her clothes and left the room to take that shower, but she didn't make it very far because she nearly ran into Ruby. "Morning, Em," the brunette greeted and smiled at her. "Good morning," Emma smiled and said that she had been meaning to say since last night. "I'm really sorry if you and Belle got into trouble because of me." "Oh no, don't worry," Ruby interrupted and patted Emma's shoulder lightly. "We didn't. I'm just sorry if I ended up scaring you." "You didn't," Emma lied. "It's fine." "You're sure?" "Yeah, absolutely." "All right then, see you at practice." "See you." Emma flashed her another smile and continued her walk down the hallway to get to the bathroom. But before she made it there, Ruby called out to her again. "Hey!" Emma turned around once more. "Yes?" "It's your room now," Ruby said firmly and smiled reassuringly at Emma. "Not Christine's old room, but your new room. Okay?" "Okay," Emma said and returned the smile. She wasn't entirely sure what to do with that reassurance, but it still felt nice. And she was glad that Ruby wasn't mad at her or anything. That would have been the worst way possible to start her stay here in Paris. Emma got showered and dressed and then went downstairs. She found her way into the large dining hall without getting lost on the way, but she was easily overwhelmed when she looked around. Where was she supposed to sit? Everyone was sitting in groups. She couldn't just waltz over there and demand to be a part of one of the groups. That would be rude. She tried not to panic and adjusted her glasses slightly. She could already feel her heart thump too loudly in her chest, and she tried to take one of those deep breaths she always used when she got nervous. It didn't work today. "Hi!" Emma turned around at the sound. There was a girl sitting by one of the little round tables, a girl with dark hair and dark eyes, and she was waving at Emma. Or was she? Emma had been wrong about these things before. She quickly turned around again to make sure that there wasn't anyone behind her. There wasn't. She licked her lips nervously and looked at the girl. "Me?" "Yeah, you!" The girl grinned. "Come here. I saved you a seat." You saved me a seat?" Emma echoed as she walked over to where the girl was sitting. "I'm sorry, but I think you're confusing me with someone else." The girl tilted her head. "Aren't you Emma Swan?" "Yes," Emma confirmed. "Then I'm not confusing you with someone else." The girl chuckled. "I'm Lily Drake." "Oh," relief flooded Emma. "You're Melina's daughter." That's right. Sit down. Emma sat down. Did your mom ask you to do this? Oh no. She sounded completely rude. Nope, Lily said lightly and flashed Emma a crooked grin. I just wanted to meet the songbird from Maine. Songbird? Emma echoed and raised an eyebrow. Lily shrugged. That's what my mom called you. Do you want to have breakfast together? Uh, yes, Emma nodded. Yes, that would be nice. Great. I'm new in the choir too, Lily smiled. We can help each other get settled in. Emma returned the smile. Maybe this wasn't so hard as she had feared. I'd like that. Awesome. Now, let's go and get breakfast. We only have 45 minutes. Rehearsal was exactly as Emma had imagined it to be. Hard work, but so well worth it. At first, she had been overwhelmed when she stepped up to the little stage along with everyone else. They used a smaller stage for rehearsals, but it was still enough to make Emma feel euphoric and nervous. But as soon as she found her spot in the back row, sandwiched between two taller choir singers, and started singing, the usual shift happened. Emma no longer felt socially awkward and out of place. She felt like she belonged here. This was where she was supposed to be. She was here to sing, was never meant to do anything but sing. And oh, how her voice soared up, up, up. In this room, with the ceiling so high, the sound was completely different. Emma's voice was completely different. It sounded stronger, but strangely delicate at the same time, like a soap bubble on the verge of both bursting, but not quite. And she loved it. Emma was unsure of many things: how to act, how to walk, how to talk to people, even how to eat in public so quietly no one would notice her. But when she sang, she stopped caring about all those things. They became trivial, non existent. The only existing thing was her voice and the way it soared and blended in with the rest of the choir. Yes, this was her place, where she didn't fit in with others when they were making small talk with each other. She fitted in with her voice. She didn't have to try hard or pretend to be someone or something she wasn't. She could just simply sing. Well, at least she would. It wasn't because of the way the teacher, Madame Carlotta, was looking at her when they finished the third piece on the repertoire. Emma immediately felt insecure again, and bound up by that, she asked, Did I do something wrong, Madame Carlotta? No, Madame Carlotta said. That was lovely, Emma. I'll move you to the front row next time. We really can't hide such a lovely voice in the back. Emma tried to protest, but was silenced when Lily, who was standing next to her, gave her arm a half-hearted squeeze and a warning whisper in her ear. Shut up. Standing in the front row is a good thing. Emma held her tongue. Maybe she could talk to Madame Carlotta later and explain to her why she couldn't possibly be in the front row. The rehearsal continued, but Emma wasn't singing quite as loud or enthusiastic as she had been a moment ago. Madame Carlotta's comment had made her nervous. It had made her stand out from the crowd, and now it felt like everyone was looking at her. Of course they weren't. Deep down, Emma knew that, but she still couldn't quite shake the feeling. She kept her head down and sang. Hopefully, she could find Madame Carlotta later and explain that she couldn't possibly be in the front row where everyone could see her. Madame Carlotta would have to find someone else, someone who weren't as nervous as Emma. That would be better for everyone. Being a member of Opera Garnier's choir was exactly as hard as Emma's mother had warned her about. For 3 hours straight, they did nothing but sing. Other members were singing their solo pieces. The entire choir sang, either with or without a few instruments accompanying them. Emma was tired, but she was also insanely happy. She was living the dream. everything she had ever strived to achieve since she was a little girl. By lunchtime, Emma felt as though every single muscle in her body had been replaced with spaghetti. That was how tired she was. And starving. By the time they reached the cantina, Emma was so hungry she couldn't easily have inhaled 3 or 4 burgers. The cantina didn't serve burgers for lunch, though, so she had to settle for a sandwich. But that was more than fine, too. As hungry as she was, anything would do. She grabbed a sandwich and an apple and then settled down at the nearest empty table. She wasn't alone for long, though. Lily soon came over with a tray in her hand and asked if she could join Emma for lunch. "Sure," Emma said and smiled. "Sit down." "Thanks," Lily said briskly. She plopped down on the chair and dug into her sandwich. Emma took deep gulps of her water. Her throat felt completely dry from hours of teaching. Madame Carlotta was nice, but also strict. She pushed her students right to the edge, but never beyond that. Emma could already sense that she would come to appreciate Madame Carlotta a lot. "Why the hell are you hiding?" Lily asked plainly, once done chewing on a mouthful of sandwich. "What?" "When Madame Carlotta said that she'd move you to the front row, you flinched," Lily pointed out. "Why?" I'm not good at being at the front row," Emma said truthfully. "How come?" Lily asked plainly and took another bite of her sandwich. I get nervous," Emma said, and noted that she was getting nervous right now as well. She was stuttering. Stage fright." "No way," Lily said sympathetically. "Really?" Emma said, and sought solace in another gulp of water. "All the auditions I had to do to get here weren't easy. There was, to put it lightly. She had been a bundle of nerves at the first audition, and she had actually broken down in tears before going on stage. It had taken 10 minutes before she was calm enough to actually go on stage, but then she had also aced it. Well, at least that was what her parents had said, and she must have done something right because she was here now. "I'm sorry," Lily said. "You're a good singer, Emma. You really are." "So are you," Emma smiled. "Really good." Lily chuckled and rolled her eyes. "I mostly joined because my mother wanted me to." "And mother always knows best, doesn't she?" Emma looked up when she heard Melina's voice. The tall blonde was standing right by their table. Lily rolled her eyes. "Hi, Mom." "How is everything here?" Melina asked in that certain mom briskness that would make any teenager cringe. And thus Lily did. "Everything's fine," Emma assured and flashed Melina a smile. "We just finished rehearsing." "Emma knocked it out of the park," Lily added. "She might be moved into the front row." I don't think so," Emma said hastily. "There are so many from the choir who are better than me." "Believe in yourself, Emma," Melina lightly chided. "Your voice took you from Maine to Opera Garnier. You have to believe in yourself and your talent." "I know," Emma said dutifully. She would try. She really would. But it was just so hard. One thing was sure, though. She would never be able to sing solo. She was much happier in the back row, and she would explain that to Madame Carlotta as soon as possible. In fact, she would do it right now. She had just spotted the teacher coming into the cantina, so she scarfed down the rest of her sandwich, flushed it down with water, and muttered a quick excuse to Melina and Lily. She went over to Madame Carlotta, and of course she flushed as she tried to explain the situation to the teacher. That she was only able to sing when she was in the back row and not the center of attention. Madame Carlotta shook her head a little and said with her heavy French accent, I'm sorry you feel that way, Emma. Your voice is exquisite. Hiding you away in the back is almost a crime. I'm sorry, Madame Carlotta, Emma said, but I can't be in the front row. If I can see the audience, she shook her head fervently, I'll mess it up. I'll sing the wrong thing. Okay, Emma, Madame Carlotta interrupted. I understand. I will not move you from your current position in the choir, but you have to talk to someone about this. We have a very good coach here. I'm sure he could help you with the stage fright. Would you like me to take him to you for you and book you in for an appointment? I'm sure it can't hurt, Emma said, and put on a smile, while she bit her tongue in order to reveal how many experts she had been seeing already. Coaches, therapists. She had tried breathing exercises, meditation, even imagining that everyone in the audience was naked, which had been pretty disturbing, but nothing had helped. She couldn't sing in front of a crowd if she was alone, or the attention was solely on her, and that was final. Emma had accepted it, accepted her place in the back row of the choir, and she was happy like that. She could still sing. The stage fright wasn't a problem as such. Emma thanked Madame Carlotta and left the cantina. She had an hour before she had to get back to work. Not rehearsals, but homework. All the younger students at the opera still had to keep up with their schoolwork. Emma had a busy day ahead of herself, so she was happy to have this hour to herself. She headed back to her room and found her phone and headphones. She could hear laughter from Belle's room. She lived in the room right next to Emma, and the walls weren't that thick. Emma chuckled a little to herself as she plugged the headphones into her phone. It sounded like Ruby and Belle had a right party in there. They would probably have allowed Emma to join her if she asked, but right now, Emma had other things she wanted to do. Rehearse a bit more, for instance. She opened YouTube and found a video of the piece they were currently rehearsing. It was a piece she knew to unconsciousness. Puccini's Nessun Dorma, one of her favorite pieces, but also the piece she had half cried herself through when she auditioned the first time. Emma cringed and tried not to think too much of that since she switched the music on. She lay down on her bed and closed her eyes. Yes, singing when lying down was a bit more difficult, but she had spent most of the morning and early afternoon standing up. She could do with a little break. She turned the volume up all the way so the music in her ear almost drowned out her own voice, and then she began to sing. She took a quick breath. Emma fell out of the rhythm for a few seconds and paused the music as she took another breath. She was fine. She was in her room, behind a closed door. Falling out of the rhythm was okay. Nothing to panic about. She just had to get a hold of herself and continue. She breathed in through her nose and out through her nose as she started the music again and listened to the instrumental part with her eyes closed. Just follow the rhythm. That was the only thing she had to do. She sucked in another breath and felt how her body tensed as she prepared for the last note. Why did she have to tense like this? Why did she have to be so nervous? It was ridiculous. She had rehearsed this piece a million times. Of course she could do it this time too. Choir sang in her ear, and Emma sang along with them, and her voice didn't break, didn't fracture. Instead, it soared up, and Emma enjoyed the high, the rush it always brought. And when the instrumental part took over, she felt like she was floating. If only she could keep this feeling all the time, this feeling of utter euphoria. Emma began humming along to the instrumental part. She didn't need a choir in her ear in order to hum. That was different. That was something she could actually do, and do well. After a moment, she hit the replay button. Brava, brava, bravissima. Huh? Emma paused the music and ripped the headphones out. What was that? She could have sworn that she just heard a woman's voice. A roar of laughter erupted from Belle's room, and Emma chuckled slightly. Thin walls. They were clearly having fun. That must have been what she just heard through her headphones. Belle and Ruby having fun with making echoey voices through the thin walls. She would have to get back at them at some point. To be continued. Thanks so much for listening. You heard the song Nessun Dorma, sung by Lucy Kay, Britain's Got Talent 2014 final. and also an instrumental version, which you can find in the info box. Thank you so much. Bye.